Hello everyone and welcome back to the Honor Club YouTube channel. My name is RateWrestle and today is, as usual, RateWrestle reviews. We've got a triple header this week. Normally it's just the two reviews, but I went to see my local indie show and we'll definitely be discussing that. So discussing today, we've got New Japan Road Day 5. Then we've got the GCW pay-per-view I Never Liked You. And then following that up, I've got to have to move my camera, I'm not used to having three. We're going to go with the Kamikaze 9th anniversary show, which was an absolute belter. We'll discuss this one first because, I had to go live. Oh, because I was seeing it live, I'm not going to end up writing in my notepad as usual. So it's more of just an overall review. Definitely check it out on demand when it comes out. It'll probably be out next week. That's normally when they release them. But an absolutely stacked card, and especially because there was a few changes they had to do due to travel issues and injuries. But we'll go ahead. So firstly, it was Charles Crowley versus Big Guns Joe. So this was supposed to be originally Session Moth Martina versus Charles Crowley. But Session Moth was stuck in Dublin at an airport, so unfortunately she wasn't able to make it. But Charles Crowley was still wanting the session. And so he was about to start his dance party, and then Big Guns Joe comes down. The match begins. It's like pretty much a comedy kind of matchup, but there is some good move sets in there. Charles Crowley is very good, and Big Guns Joe is very good as well. It was more of Charles Crowley trying to joke around, but Big John's trying to be... I'm going to call him Big Joe now because I keep calling him Big John's. Big Joe trying to be really serious. The memorable spot I can remember in it is he got him into a Boston crab, and Big Gun and Crowley was getting to the ropes, and he grabbed the can of beer that he had during the match, drank that, hyped up, and eventually he did pick up the win. Rated 2 3/4. It was definitely a good matchup. Good way to kick off the show. This was followed by a match with TK Cooper, Luke Douglas from the Kamikaze Dojo, and Harrison Bennett, which most people may know him as Man Like Beano. This was just your fun, good triple threat match. Everyone got their bits in. They focused on Luke at the start because he's the bad guy out of the three, really. TK Cooper looked very good in this, and he ended up picking up the win after just obliterating both opponents right at the end. Rated that 3 stars, very good matchup. This was followed by Joseph Connors versus MVK Valcabius. It was nice to see Valcabius. He was around originally when I first started going to Kamikaze. He's always been a good wrestler, but he's just not there, so I don't know what's going on there, but it is what it is. And this was just a very good matchup. Connors was healing it up during it, and Valcabius was very flashy because Valcabius is a big dude, hitting some power moves, but he's also very athletic. He hit a few moonsaults, throws off the top. Connors was trying to keep him down, but Valcabius overall outpowered him and picked up the win. Rated just on 3 3/4. It was a very good matchup. It's definitely one to check out. And then comes up to the match of the night, which was the first half main event, which was the Chris Ridgway, who's now back in Noah. For any of you international fans, he's in the Stinger faction. And he was facing off against the new Kamikaze Pro Live champion, George Lydon. I've seen George a few times on the previous Kamikaze Dojo shows when I used to go. And you could tell he's very talented then, but this match was the ultimate breakout star moment match. Chris Ridgway absolutely obliterated him for a lot of the matchup, which you expected. But Lydon showed proper heart. Some of the moves he kicked out of, and some of the submissions, Ridgway was proper talking on ankle locks and stuff like that. He kicked out so many moves from Ridgway, and then Ridgway eventually he ended it, which was probably for the best because George Lydon probably was going to kick out again, and then it would have been death. But yeah, this was extremely good. I rated 4.5 as you can see, but it was a top-notch matchup. Probably one of my favourite ever Kamikaze matches. It ranks next to my favourite, which was Chantel versus Millie McKenzie. But yeah, very, very good. So yeah, this was followed by, after the break, 0121 versus Experiment in Terror, which is Dan Maloney and Man Like the Reese versus Elijah and Alco Messinger. This was very good. Man Like the Reese is very over with the Kamikaze fans. The 012 in general are, and Experiment in Terror are a very good team. There was some fun parts in it, some hard-hitting brawls outside. Reese doing some like outlandish, high-flying moves. Dan just being Dan. Very good matchup. And 0121 did pick up the win. But 3.5 stars. Very good start to the show. The second half of the show. This was followed by, this should have been Sean Custom, who is the Kamikaze Pro Champion, but he's injured at the moment, versus Chuck Mambo. So they got Charlie Sterling involved as a replacement. This match was getting very good, but then unfortunately Charlie Sterling suffered an injury. I think he was doing a body slam and his knee gave way. He thought he was fine, but then he stood back up and he just instantly said, call it, like his knee was done. But hopefully it isn't as serious as we think it could be, and hopefully he gets well soon, really. I read it 2.25 just because it just abruptly stopped, but like I said, that can't be helped. And once again, as I said, hopefully he does get better soon. And hopefully we do get to see Mambo versus Custom soon, because Mambo needs to take it home. And then this followed by the main event, which was announced originally, which was going to be Chantel versus Lana Austin for the Relentless Division Champion, or Relentless Championship now they're calling that. But it ended up being a Fighting Females for the Fighting Females title, because Shakara has been injured, and I haven't seen her this year. So Lana Austin was basically saying, why haven't I had the championship? And then they ended up having this matchup. Alexa Falcon came out claiming that she should be the champion because she's a Kamikaze veteran, even though she's been there once. And then Lucia Lee, which was always good to see, one of the Kamikaze Pro Dojo people, who was very good as well to check out. So it ended up being a Fatal 4-Way elimination match, and this was great. This was good because Lana Austin showed how good she is. Everyone got their stuff in. Lucy looked great until she was eliminated. That was followed by the elimination by Alexa Falcon. Chantel eliminated her. And then Lana absolutely obliterated Chantel with... so she hit 2 finishes on her. Chantel kicked out, and then she did the rolling forearm that she hit on Lucia Lee as well, which looks brutal, by the way. But yeah, this was a very good matchup. A very good main event to round off the show. Rated that 3.25 stars. But yeah, I definitely, when it comes out on demand, guys, definitely check this out, especially for the George Lydon match and the Val Cabis match. I'm hoping Val Cabis is going to be brought back more. And Chris Ridgway versus George Lydon is definitely something you need to see because it was magical. But yeah, we'll go to my actual reviews now, because these are the ones where I can actually take notes, because I'm not going to sit in a Kamikaze Pro and be like this, taking notes, because that just ruins the show if you're there live. So New Japan Road, Day 5. It started off in your typical way, which was a veteran versus your young lion. So Doki versus Yuto Yuto Nakashima? So there was chain wrestling at the start, then Doki took a charge in the matchup. Then Yuto hit a lariat kick, got a near fall from that. He got his Boston Crabbing, because, the young guys are not allowed to do any moves except for the ones that they're taught at the time. Then Doki hit an Enziguri. But Yuto was very much in control for a lot of this matchup. And it ended with the Doki Choki out of nowhere. I rated it 2.25. Good. It was an average matchup. Good start to a typical New Japan show. This was followed by another veteran versus a young boy. So Taichi versus Riho Oiwa. Taichi was battering Oiwa, which was what you expected. He had him in a line tamer variation, which I thought he was just going to tap out then. Drop kick and a shoulder block from Rio, so he was trying to get back involved. Gut wrench for a near fall, and then he got him into the Boston Crab, so I said the young boy's Boston Crab, and then Taichi got really annoyed and kicked his head off. And picked up the win. Once again, 2.25. Very good fun way, though. This was followed by Chaos. As you can see, Goto, Yano, Yo, and Yoshihashi. versus the House of Torture, Dick Togo, Evil, Sho, and Yujihiro Takahashi. So this was obviously a typical jump start and the brawl. Dick Togo ended up in a dog cage. Who knows? He was locked in there. They were working on Hashi for a lot of the matchup. Lariats from Oroki Goto, just absolute brutal. I think it was Yo and Yoshihashi at like the Hardy special in the corner, you know, when one lies down and the other one runs and jumps. Sho got visually tapped out at this point by Yo, but the ref couldn't see it. Takahashi hit the cane on him, and then Sho hit the wrench to pick up the win. 2.5, just your typical all-out House of Torture shenanigans matchup. This was followed by 6 and 9. With Jado versus United Empire team of Aaron Hanare, Francesco Akira and TJP. This was just more of getting the United Kingdom over as like the dominant faction. There's a jump start. The UAE are great unit. Jado had the Jado clutch in and got him for a near fall. The triple team from the UE. And then it ended up with a grapevine master lock from Anare to tap out. Rated that 2.5 as well. Said it was pretty average. It was just a typical get the team involved. This was followed by Hiroshi Tenzan, Okada, Fujita and Makabe versus Los Ingobernables de Japón, which is Bushi, Shinada, Shingo and Tetsuya Naito. This was just an absolute mugging on Fujita. He didn't get to tag out. They absolutely just battered him for the whole match. Boston Crabs, they were just working him over. And Bushi eventually got him to Boston and tapped him out. 2.25 stars, just a below average. This was followed by Ishii versus Clark Connors, which Ishii did win, but now he's out of the match because he's injured, so that's sad to see. So it started with the typical shoulder block, so he was stronger. Strikes, Connors actually won that. Overhead throw by Clark Connors to kind of show his dominance with the power. Weird snap bear suplex by Connors, which basically nearly brain busted Ishii. Ishii was mauling Connors at this point. Chop battle. Ishii did the kitchen sink, which is always good. Powerbomb for a near fall by Ishii at that point. Then a lariat. Absolutely obliterate his head off. Roll up near fall followed that by Clark Connors. Clark Connors hit 2 spears for some near falls at that. And then some massive strikes by Ishii. And then he followed up with his brainbuster for the win. I rate that 3.5 stars. Very good matchup, and I was looking forward to Ishii being at Forbidden Door, but now he's out injured, so Clark Connors is taking over. So this match basically meant nothing, but it was still fun to see. And then this was followed by the match of the night and the main event. Taiji Ishimori versus Hiromu Takahashi. Your typical Super Junior, all-out, massive, spectacular. Taiji was working on the arm of Hiromu for a lot of it. Then this was started by a Hurricane Rana fight back from Hiromu. He shotgun drop kick to the outside by Hiromu as well, which was pretty fun to see. Then Taiji hit a sliding German, which Shinsei hits a lot on SmackDown recently. Then he hit like Taiji did like the lawn dart that Johnny Gargano kind of does into the ring post. Then he hit a Canadian Destroyer. Then Takahashi did the overhead throw into the turnbuckle. He had the full-on strike battle after that. Corner drive from Takahashi. Then Taiji just started obliterating the arm more. Got him in a yes lock, the label lock. Taiji then hit a power driver on the apron. Got him, and then he was in a triangle choke from actual Takahashi. Takahashi hit the time bomb after that and got a close near fall. Stand-day reversal by Takahashi as well, and then a top rope reverse DDT from Takahashi that got near fall. And this ended with Tajiri with a finish where he picked up the win. Rated that 4.25 stars. Very good matchup, and it shows Super Juniors are definitely ones to watch out for. And then finally, we're going to check out GCW's I Never Liked You. So we were all here for the Nick Wayne versus Will Ospreay match. But overall, it was a decent card in general anyway. So you start off with Jordan Oliver versus Blake Christian. I'm a big fan of both guys. Jordan Oliver I've seen grow from MLW, and he's a proper standout now. And Blake Christian was very good before his stint in that place. Came back and he's picked up where he left off. So you had the quick graps at the start, like one-upmanship. Blake Christian hit a dive outside. Then they started slow striking each other. Oliver hit a Liger bomb. Then Blake hit a standing sliced bread for a near fall. Then there was a super kick from Jordan Oliver into an apron power driver that obliterated Blake Christian. Then he hit the cloud cutter for a near fall. And then he went for another. I think it was Blake Christian went for a dive, but no, the other way around. Jordan Oliver went for another dive, but Blake Christian catched it into a Liger bomb for a near fall. Then he hit a full-on curb stomp and picked up the win. Rate that 3 stars. Definitely a good start to the event. This was followed up by Ali Catch, who I'm a big fan of, and Lufisto, who I've only just seen recently, but she was definitely one worth to check out, the veteran. It started off with your typical one-upmanship. Lufisto got Catch into a camel clutch. Then full-on headbutting the crap out of her in the corner. Ali Cat got on top, then hit a cannonball, but Lufisto no-sold that and then hit her own cannonball. There was strike battle, then Catch got into a crossface onto Lufisto. She pole drive and got a near fall at that point. And then she hit a missile pole driver on which used to be, I think MJF still does it, the missile pole driver on the actual ropes, and picked up the win. Rate that 3 stars as well. Very good start to the show. This was followed up by Jack Cartwheel, the new Noah star, versus Kevin Blackwood, who's going to go everywhere soon, I can tell you that now. So it started with your graps, though, because Blackwood is the grappler submission striker and Cartwheel is the showman. Black was trying to kick the crap out of Cartwheel. Cartwheel hit like a top rope dropkick. Standing moonsault for a near fall by Jack Cartwheel. Then a shooting star press, which he missed, and then Blackwood is on top. Blackwood got the ankle lock. Cartwheel stood up, so he did the German where you've captured the ankle at the same time for a near fall. Some insane agility was happening at this point. I can't even describe it. There was a few roll-ups. There was a variant on the Rings of Saturn by Cartwheel at this point, and then he hit a dive to the outside. Tried another shooting star press and missed again. And then Kevin Blackwood hit like a double stomp into a sharpshooter and made him tap. 3.5 stars. Very, very good. Definitely check this out. Then this was followed by Cole Roderick versus Ninja Mac, which I didn't get into that much. It just felt like the same match, I think, from the previous Blackwood versus Cartwheel match, which I feel bad. I think it should have just been broke up about. It was a bit of back and forth. So your speed versus your strikes. So he got a catch choking. So Cole Roderick did a dive, but Ninja Mac caught him into a choke. Strike kick, a spin kick by Ninja Mac for a near fall. Then he hit 630 to get the pin, but then Cole Roderick reversed it into a crucifix and picked up the pin. Right at 2.5. Like I said, I just wasn't into it, I think, because of the other match. This was followed by Commander, who I hadn't seen before on Los Mazos, which is Cyclope and Miedo Extremo, who I've seen previously, were very good. Drago Kid, who I didn't know was Astro Lux until I checked out halfway through the match. And the team of ASF and Gringo Loco. So this was just your typical Lucha Libre matchup. So you were super kicks Cyclope and Miedo Izquierdo. A lot of flips and just like full on what the hell's going on here. Springboard moonsault and a center. So Gringo Leighton Coke hit like a springboard moonsault and then did a dive, did a senton to the guy who was lying outside. Then I think Commodore hit like he walked across the whole of the top rope with no one touching him, did a dive outside. And then Canadian Destroyer by ASF, then they hit like a dual finish. So we're at that 2 3/4. Decent enough matchup. This was followed by Joey Janela versus JT Dunn, so I was definitely looking forward to this. So JT Dunn, I remember being as like the protege of Chris Hero. And Joey Janela's on the roll of his lifetime again in GCW, which is always good to see. So JT hit like a spinning forearm to get you off straight away. And then outside, Joey Janela hit like a powerbomb into the pillar and then followed it with a powerbomb into the apron. And then this was followed by JT hitting like an apron X Factor, which was a fun spot. He hit a full-on lariat, which knocked Joey Janela out his shoes. Strike battles after this. German from Joey Janela, who no-sold the hell out of it. Rana to JT, who then no-sold that. Dual rolling elbows, and both guys were down. Where are we now? So, neck bomb onto the apron, and then a stomp for a near fall from Joey Janela. Top rope DVD from JT for a near fall. Package draw drive from Joey Janela, near fall after that. Top rope tombstone on the chairs from JT onto Joey Janela. That should be the end of the match, but he kicked out, so fair enough. And then Joey Janela ended up hitting like a massive super kick for the win. Rated this 3.5 as well. Very much enjoyed it. This was followed by Waves and Curls, the team of Jalen Braden and Trayvon Jordan versus Second Gear Crew, which is Mance Warner and one called Manders this show. This was definitely the Trayvon Jordan show. Like, you check him out, he looked great in this matchup. So he hit like a dive straight away, looks pretty cool. He did a suplexes onto the chair. Everything started to take a while because they were setting up everything so people were down and they were setting up real spots, which took you out of the match slightly. The team of Wows and Curl hit a 3D for a table. Then he hit a choke slam Trayvon through a table on one of them. Everyone was just throwing doors at this point. Doors were getting set up everywhere. TJV was the MVP, as I said at this point. They hit a heart attack, which was pretty cool to see as well. Mance absolutely glommed one of them with a chair. And then a top rope power slam to pick up the win from one called Manders. Rated 3 stars, definitely a fun matchup. This was followed by your typical GCW scramble, which was Deppen, Effie, Lloyd, Marcus Mathers and the debuting Dustin Waller. So Deppen decided he wasn't going to be in the match at the start and just walked out. This was your typical dive-a-thon, reverse stomps and, one in, one out kind of stuff with spots. There was a 450 near fall from Dustin Warner to Marcus Mathers. Tony Deppen count out nowhere, did a dive, he was back in. Effie hit a double Zack Ryder, Rough Rider on, I think it was Dustin and Mathers, which is always fun to see. Flipping DDT from Jimmy Lloyd to pick up a near fall. A Doomsday Destroyer, so the one guy had on the thing, but the other guy, I think it was Dustin, it like a Canadian Destroyer off his shoulders. And then out of nowhere, Tony Deppen, to ruin everyone's mood, running knee to pick up the win. Rated this 2 3/4. It was fine for a scramble match. As I said, I'm not a massive fan of these, but it's definitely, I'm not going to rate them low because of that opinion. But yeah, it's definitely fun. And then this was the match we were all waiting to see. Will Ospreay debuting, I think, in GCW versus Nick Wayne, who's going everywhere right now. This reminded me of the Chris Ridgway match I just discussed, like the breakout party. Veteran Ospreay versus Nick Wayne, Leiden. Wayne was outpacing Ospreay for a lot of this match, which obviously was the whole point. He was fully in control for a lot of it as well, until Ospreay hit like a massive boot, which took him out of his boots. Then he caught him like into a catch, like abdominal stretch, which was a good spot from Will Ospreay. Nick Wayne hit a springboard cutter at this point, which was fun to see. Spinning kick from Will Ospreay at that point. Then there was a rolling code red from Nick Wayne for a near fall. Swanton on the apron from Nick Wayne at this point, so he was definitely in control. Poison Rana with Ospreay just basically Poison Rana off the top rope. Ospreay just flipped and stood there, and Nick Wayne was like, "What the hell's just happened?" Fast sequences after that. Sunset Bomb from Will Ospreay. Strike battles. Liger Bomb from Will Ospreay for a near fall. Clown Cutter from Nick Wayne for a near fall. Oz Cutter for a near fall. And then out of nowhere, Will Ospreay says, "Yeah, I'm done now." Hidden Blade, Stormbreaker picks up the win. I rated this 3 3/4. Fun matchup, definitely one to watch. So yeah, that's the end of the reviews. I'm worried now that I didn't change my mic to the one over here. So I'm hoping this, because I'm not re-recording this because this has been long. But yeah, comment down below what you think I should see, what you thought of the 3 shows if you went to the Kamikaze one. Obviously let us know what you thought of that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment, like, Twitter, all that mumbo jumbo. And you guys have a nice rest of your Sunday, and I will see you on Tuesday for another Honor Club news show, and then we're doing something special, which RGX will announce close to the time or on the show. Who knows? I'll see you later, guys.